3 people have been stabbed to death in New York City's transit system in the last 10 days. The latest victim was 55-year-old Lamont Barkley. He was fatally stabbed on a BX-19 bus around 8:30 p.m. last night. Back in September, Elizabeth Gomes was brutally beaten by Wahid Foster. You can see it happen here. It is one of the most despicable videos imaginable, a man doing that to a woman, a homeless ex-convict who should have never been out of prison. Foster was on parole after being arrested twice back in August. Instead of being held on the parole violation, as his parole officer asked for, a ridiculous judge just let him walk. And he has a lengthy criminal history, including beating his own grandmother to death when he was 14 years old. That man beat his grandmother to death, and he's out on the streets. Elizabeth Gomes ran into that career criminal on her way to work, 5:15 in the morning. She got off the train, saw a man ranting about Satan as she was trying to avoid him. He went after her, dragging her across the Howard Beach JFK Airport station, then repeatedly kicked and punched her in the face. Gomes is in jeopardy of potentially losing vision in her right eye. You can see in that picture there why. And she joins me now. Elizabeth Gomes, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Your story is one of those stories that just enrages people because they just see how unsafe the city has become, and you see a woman just going to work, just trying to do the right thing. How are you doing tonight? What is the condition of your eye? Let's start with that.
I mean, when someone asks me how am I doing, it's like I don't know what to say because I'm not doing good, nor am I doing bad. You know, I'm okay. I'm trying to still deal with everything that's going on, and the process of my eye, you know, from a scale to 1 to 100 of me getting my eyesight back being 100 is really at 25 right now. You know, they're saying there's not really a chance of they seeing because it looks like the nerve system is really damaged.
And this, you're going to work, you get off the train, and this all just happens.
Right.
What can you remember of that?
Honestly, I remember everything. I remember the moment I left out my house, what it is that I did, how I tried to rush to get the train. Maybe if I would have missed it, it probably would have made a difference. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. But I remember everything. I remember everything about that attack. And even when I close my eyes, I still see it.
What do you have to say to the people that are running this city, New York City, and a lot of cities around the country, frankly?
You know, honestly, what I have to say is I feel like, you know, the system haven't really been there for us, you know, and every 4 years, every 2 years, we try to see a change in these elections, and I feel like nobody is doing what it is that's supposed to be done. Because if it was, they would have had these plans already based out. They know what's going on. They see it. They have eyes. They see it just like we see it every single day. So you're telling me you can't come up with a structure plan. You can't come up with something to really help your city. You are the people that we're looking forward for the help. Who else are we going to ask? And if you guys can take care of your city and do what it is for right, then I feel like you're not really there for us. There's a bigger plan, and it doesn't involve us. So whatever happens to us, it just happens to us because nobody try to reach out to the people that these things happen to.
Right.
Nobody try to reach out and make sure we're okay and make sure that things are going all right and making a better view or try to make sense of something. They don't do that.
Well, and these policies that get implemented when these types are in power are implemented in spite of victims of crime. And I honestly believe that they know that at the end of the day, no matter how dangerous a city gets, it's still very few people are actually victims of crime, that they still think they can win by having an ideology. You know, I think the political ideology trumps the safety of the citizens. I think when they see a lane that they can win with, which is making police, vilifying police officers, telling people they're not safe because of police, telling a society that criminals are not being treated fairly, that we need to be more lenient, that we need to decriminalize because it's more fair. They do that in spite of the real story of victims because they don't care much about victims. They ignore your story every single time. If you sent an email to the mayor right now, mark my words, they wouldn't respond to that email because it's not politically useful to them.
Oh, trust me.
How does that make you feel?
We sent the email to the mayor, and you're absolutely right. He never reached back out, never got back a little comment or how you're doing or anything. We sent 5 emails out to the mayor. You understand? So I understand exactly what you're saying. And since they started to defund the police, they didn't realize how bad more crime started to get out there, how worse the city have gotten. But they wasn't realizing that because they didn't see the real fire when it was starting to happen. You know, they was too focused on these other natural disasters that they could see from on a view, and they could see these radars. But crime and these things happening is not something you could see from a radar. We don't expect these things to just randomly happen, but they're happening. And I mean, they have to have some sort of insight to know what's really happening with the city, because they can't just sit back and say that they don't understand or they don't know where it's coming from. They have to know.
Yeah. No, and the truth is the political value of the defund the police messaging in 2020 was worth more than your right eye, was worth more than thousands of lives in inner cities across this country. That's the blatant truth. Anybody wants to debate that with me, I welcome them on the show. That is exactly how it works. How has this changed your life? I mean, are you ever going to take transportation again? Are you going to go on the subways again, or are you done with that?
Oh my God, this thing has changed my life in so many ways. Like, you wouldn't understand unless if you're really in the situation, or if you've been somebody that has been attacked, or, you know, some of the ones who did survive the attack. I'm just really thankful and grateful every day that I actually survived, because this guy could have had a knife or something instead of a bottle before he hit me. You understand? It could have been something more worse. I wouldn't even been able to sit here and actually talk to try to make a change for the other people so they don't have to go through this. They don't have to feel this terror that I feel every day. Yes, I feel nervous. I feel nervous because now I can't see from this side. I don't know what's going on over here. You understand? Now I have to stay focused and try to visualize and try not to strain this eye too much to damage any other thing over here. So yes, life has changed a lot. I can't do a lot of things that I could do before. You know, right now, it's traumatic. I would not take the subway again. And I promised myself that. And I don't want my family members to take the subway again, because now it's like you can't even sit down and enjoy the ride. I remember when I used to work at the airport, and when these people from foreign used to come and ask, you know, what's the fastest way? My number one thing used to say, you know, why don't you take the subway? It's a nice ride through the city that you can actually see certain places that you might want to stop. Now you can't even say that. You have to say, watch your back, or be careful, or walk with a weapon, because that's the only way we could protect ourselves, because there's nobody else protecting us. So that's what we have to say now.
It's just pitiful. It's pitiful. It's unfair. And it marginalizes people that have to deal with the consequences of horrible policies. The exact people that implemented this, that did this to you, are ignoring you with every decision that they make, and it's enraging.
Of course.
It really is. Elizabeth?
And they're ignoring everyone else, because I'm pretty sure the ones who did pass away, they never stopped by their house or their family members or reached out to them neither.
They don't care. They don't care. They could not care less. You guys are just collateral damage, marginalized in every regard. I'm so sorry for what happened to you. We're pulling for you and for your right eye. I hope that one day it opens up.
Thank you.
And you're seeing perfectly again. And God bless you. And thank you so much for coming on tonight. We do appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate it. I really do. Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself.